Hello and welcome to Owen's Skate Life, and today we'll be asking the question, should you skateboard? There's lots of reasons why I think you should, but there are also reasons why maybe you shouldn't. So I'm going to try and go through as much of that as I possibly can. But just remember, obviously I'm going to be biased because I've been making skate content for YouTube for the last 15 years. So I might have an opinion that you might not have. I just put my hand down and there's glass and I'm bleeding. So con number one is kids shatter glass at every skate park you go to for some reason. Look. We're not here to complain about glass. Okay, the very first thing I want to talk about is that it gets you outside. So, you know, if you're just sat at home doom scrolling or whatever because there's no reason to go outside, skateboarding is the perfect reason to get your ass outside before you even step on the board. So if you're stuck in an infinite internet loop because, I don't know, maybe you haven't got enough money to go to the pub or just basically you can't really afford to go and spend out on things, then like skateboarding is like, once you've got a skateboard you could go out and do it. So number two is that it's relatively cheap. When you consider the fact that most hobbies have a cost to them every time you go and indulge in said hobby, like if you want to go swimming, like me, I love swimming. I used to love swimming so much, it was my favorite thing ever. But as an adult, you got to go to a swimming bath, and then you go to a swimming bath and there's all tons of people there, you don't have the freedom. It's just a bad time. Skateboarding, there are hours of the day where the park's empty, people don't really get in your way except for kids. If you go out when kids are about though, you kind of knew what you were getting yourself into, let's not lie. But inherently you will have to replace decks and parts and shoes. But that's why I'm so big on the save your shoes grip, because it's not damaging my shoes, and if I don't damage my shoes that means I can buy more shoes and not be forced into buying shoes because my last pair of shoes has a giant hole in them. A gym membership might cost you 30-40 a month guaranteed. Like skateboarding is like 80 to 100, maybe 150 if you go really expensive one time, and then you've got the gear. Part three is that I find going to the gym really boring, and calisthenics and stuff like that is just not interesting to me. There's nothing less interesting than doing push-ups. Like, it's so boring just staring at the floor like, we're strong yet. You could do this anywhere and I still would never do it. So skateboarding is great if you're like me and you just have to be moving. Another great thing about skateboarding is it gives you an excuse to get really mad. No! Why am I hovering this way?
Why?
You can shout and scream at yourself, and if you're frustrated with your life, it can be really cathartic. Now, people will say, oh, you shouldn't do that, it makes you like, well, what else are you going to do? Go to the pub, get drunk and start a fight? Because that's what most people do, and that's okay apparently. So I'd rather yell at myself and tell myself off than go out there and start shouting at people I care about. When I'm angry, it's usually focused at my board or at myself or at my failures, and it's like, it's understandable to be mad at your own failures and your own shortcomings. Like, you as a person, you want to do well, right? You don't want to be terrible. And I know people say, if you're horrible to yourself, you'll have low self-esteem. I mean, I'm fine. I'm absolutely abhorrent the way I talk about myself, but I'm fine. It's because I know that I'm just trying to work out the kinks, and like, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, so that's why it annoys me. It's a good excuse, it's a good way to vent. And then people are like, you should never vent, you should just keep it inside, and you should just keep it to yourself, and you should be stone-faced. Like, no dude, feel your emotions, be a human being. Come out here and feel your feelings. You can't not have a way to get that frustration out of your body. I mean, there's a lot of things in life that'll be frustrating. And if your life is super duper easy, this might not apply to you. Like, if you've had everything you've ever wanted from the day that you were born, and your biggest problem was that you didn't get the gold iPhone, you got the slightly lower tier version, and that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Maybe skateboarding won't be for you. Most of us have difficult lives, and expressing your frustration in a healthy way, which isn't going to hurt anybody, I think is invaluable. I think skateboarding has saved my sanity so many times, because as a kid I was bullied and like I got attacked a lot on a daily basis. I was the kid who was locked up in the locker room and getting fucking laid into, and like I couldn't do anything about it. You tell the teachers and they'd say, well, you shouldn't be so bullyable, basically, and then like I would go home feeling like a weak, couldn't do anything. If I tried to fight back, there was always more of them than there was of me. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna get hit, then I might as well just get used to getting hit, right? Skateboarding gave me that as well, because skateboarding will kick your ass more than any bully can. I don't know how to describe this. Like, I wanted to end myself on a daily basis. So because of this, because everywhere I went, it was like I had to be attacked. I had to be singled out. I had to be thrown at things. I had to be attacked on the bus. I had to be attacked in the street. I couldn't go anywhere, right? So skateboarding gave me the confidence to go, if I'm going to get hurt, I want to be in control of how that happens. So I would go down a quarter pipe and I would hurt myself, right? And then I would go, ow, that really hurt. But it toughened me up and it made me react less to these bullies. And me reacting less and less to this stuff that was happening made it less interesting. And it stopped happening. Because before, it gave them what they wanted. But then skateboarding came along and gave me a reason to kick my own ass. And it gave me the power and strength that comes from being able to pick and choose your battles. So yeah, I don't know if that's really a talk or more just, that was my life as a kid. My life was terrible. So what am I talking about? Another thing I want to talk about is community. When I started skateboarding, I was outcast by the outcasts. And then when I started skateboarding, people were like, oh no, what's he doing at the park? So I was even get harassed by the skateboarders, you know, the all-inclusive, oh, everyone skates and everyone should have a good. It wasn't like that back then, believe me. However, nowadays it's much cooler to be like accepting of everybody. So it's a good community there. If you've got no friends or like, you know, you don't really need to have anything in common with someone other than you ride a skateboard. So it's a good way to meet people, basically. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think personal growth is quite important as well. So skateboarding gives you something that, especially if you make YouTube videos, that you can look back and really go, yeah, I definitely have grown, even if I don't feel like it. Looking from then to now, I'm so much better now than I was then. Or maybe you go, from now to then I'm worse, and you know, but life is ups and downs, you know, you experience everything. So to think that there's a sport or anything out there that will make you go, I have a good day every time, no matter what, it would be stupid. Life is complex like that, and you should be feeling everything, not just the good. There should be the bad. The bad should be there as well, and there will be days where you absolutely hate skateboarding, and there will be days where you're like, I'm so bad at this, I hate this, and like I hate everything I'm doing. But the only reason that you feel that way is because deep down you're extremely passionate about what you're doing. You give a shit. That's why you care, and it's important to care. And it's so easy not to care in this world nowadays. And people act like if you don't give a shit about anything, nothing can hurt you. Like, that's just more fear. You should give a shit, and you should let things bother you, because it teaches you where to go. And skateboarding does that as well. It teaches you how to learn. So if you're learning wrong, you don't know it, but eventually it will teach you that, hold on a second, you've been doing this wrong or that wrong, like, and it keeps happening, and you realize just how much you don't know. And yeah, it just keeps your mind just a state of being able to continue learning and continue growing. And like, even when you think, that's it, I've hit the end or the peak or whatever, then it's like, no, you're just starting, dude. This is just the beginning. You don't know how long this is going to go on for. Which is another thing. You don't know how long you've got to do this. You might not be able to by the age of 40 or 50. Your age doesn't matter. Your size doesn't matter. I've seen some incredibly huge people skate way better than I ever have. So your age doesn't matter, your size doesn't matter. It's your willingness to participate that matters. If you want to do it and then you actually go out and do it, that's what matters. If you want to talk to everyone about how you want to do it but you never actually do it, then, you know, grow up, go out and actually do it. You could be 50 saying, I wish I could skateboard, but my knees hurt. I'm like, well, I'm 30 and my knees hurt because of skateboarding. And, you know, that's life, isn't it? Things start hurting as you get older. God damn, that was sick. See, you would have thought on those last two tries, there was no way I was going to be able to do that. And then I just do this fucking awesome... What the hell? So another thing that's great is it's great to get your blood flowing, but also it's good for your creativity. So I'm at a skate park, right? But like, I'm just skating this bit of concrete. Like, it's not even like an obstacle. It's just, clearly they must have patched up a square and I'm ollieing over that. And like, that's enough for me to get a session in. Like, I'll show you. See this little square? I've just been doing tricks over this. I'll see if I could do a couple. I've just stopped, so I'll see if I could do a couple more. Jump off though, why? But yeah, as you can see, something that's not an obstacle can be an obstacle. It's just limited by your imagination, I guess. So yeah, I think every con has a pro that kind of outweighs it, given enough time. So if you haven't got a ton of time, you might struggle to find growth. I think you need to be able to put in a good 3 or 4 days a week, like 3 or 4 hours each session, in order to maintain and continue growing. I think there's a certain amount of not enough that'll have you regressing and have you feeling bummed out on skating. So if you haven't got a lot of time, maybe it's not something that you can consider. If you can make the time, you really should though, because it's a good thing to just do whenever the feeling strikes you. You might be able to get hurt, but also like these things can teach you how not to get hurt. So over a long enough time, you learn how to avoid getting hurt. You fail an awful lot, and you know, you kind of learn who you are and you kind of experience yourself at its rawest. A lot of the time you're screaming at yourself, you're just kind of automatically yelling because you're mad, or not mad, but just you're just expressing whatever you're feeling in the moment. And you can kind of get to see yourself through your own, you know, a non-thinking lens, because it's the part of you that just, it's the reactive part of you that acts without you thinking about what you're doing. And you get to see that part of you. If you make YouTube videos, then you can have like a chronicle of your life and your progress. And if you're into videography, skateboarding and videography go so well together. These videos are all skateboarding related. Like, I don't know what I would be filming if it wasn't for skateboarding. And to begin with, filming was what I wanted to do. I didn't know it was going to be skateboarding. So, but I did know I didn't have anything to film, and I didn't have the balls to be like, do you want to be an actor in my movie? Like, I was such a shy, unconfident person, but skateboarding has made me find confidence. It's made me find friends. It's made me go through hell and back of my own volition, not just had some random person be like, I'm going to be horrible to you today and torture you and be like, this isn't fair, I don't care, life isn't fair. It's not that at all. It's, you choose your battles, you choose how long you fight for, you choose your wars. And if you want to stop, you just can stop whenever. Not only that, but like once you're at the skate park and if you decide, I don't actually want to skate today, there's no reason for you, you don't have to. 15% of people I would say I know that are like me, where we do more skating than just sitting around talking to each other. But I would say the other 85% of people mainly just sit around on their boards and smoke weed. Like, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I mean, they still skate occasionally, maybe about 15 to 30% of the time they're at the park. But for the most part, they're just out enjoying the sun, hanging out with their friends. And skateboarding doesn't have to be about riding a plank of wood. It can be about just seeing your friends and having a good time. It's about making the most of it while you can. I guess try and enjoy your life. Even on the days where you absolutely hate your life, try and enjoy it. And yeah, I personally definitely think everyone should skate, but I understand it's not for everybody, so chances are you already know you should be skateboarding. If you're already thinking about it, just get a board, try it. If you don't like it, worst case scenario is your board goes in your cupboard forever. Maybe 10 years down the line you go, I'm going to try this again, and it clicks for you. Or maybe you just never get there and you find something else. This is an idea as well, actually, is because skateboarding teaches you how to be okay with failing, is that you could skate for a while, and then when you move on to a different thing, you suddenly aren't scared of failing, because failing in a different medium doesn't involve you potentially getting hurt. So like, if you're scared of making an art project or something because you don't want it to be shit, and then you go out skateboarding, you get your ass kicked, you come back to that art project and you go, what's going to happen really? I'm not going to get hurt. The paintbrush isn't going to kick me in the ass. So, you know, skateboarding can teach you some resilience that you can really take on to everything else, and I think that is pretty cool. So This video is a mess, I swear. So in summary, obviously my answer would be yes, you should be skateboarding. Obviously I'm going to say that, but it's up to you to come to the decision whether it's right for you, right or not. I just want to make sure that everybody knows this is not sponsored or or paid for in any capacity. I'm literally just a guy who really loves this sport, if you could call it that. And yeah, I really think it's done such good things for me, and it continues to do good things for me in my life. And I think it would really be a shame if other people didn't at least get to the tip of the iceberg, as it were. Maybe it isn't for you, but personally I think everyone should give it a shot and see if you can meet some people, see if you can find some like-minded people to skate with, and yeah, get outside, I suppose. Because like I said, it's so easy to just be trapped on the internet, scrolling. We don't want our life to just be... You should skateboard.